right? So Major Pride, I think at this point, they have to stay calm, similar to the advice that Holler was giving. They have to breathe, right? Because it is paramount that they need to do this. At this point, Vitality, you can tell the confidence is shining because the Hano is going to come into the hands of the side of Highland. He is steady with it like a rock. And at this point, I don't see how Vitality can lose this game.
He puts down the brush, he picks up the scepter, he becomes the sword of the team Vitality once more. Highland looking to carry this game too, unless Major Pride can draft something here that can kind of try and stop the Hino, the go for the monkey. So the dream roll that's able to kind of set up these plays as well with the Zhang Fei could be a good thing for Major Pride, right? They have a good front line. Maybe they need something in this clash lane, like the Elaine, or even, there we go, I said it, or the Charlotte again.
Okay, so it's kind of here Vitality is showing us be like water, and they are so fluid. At this point, I don't even know what is a bad pick for the side of Vitality, right? There's so many options they can explore at this point. Sure, they have the Zhang Fei, they have to have the shield from the Leaping Savior as well, but what is a shield to the side of Vitality when you have catch by Mai Yin, you have the peel from the Hano, and you have Algren coming in with the Death's Precipice? All of this room opening for the side of the Loom.
Yeah, I mean, why have a shield, right? I mean, they're probably cooking something up on the side of Major Pride. They want to kind of just last these team fights a little bit longer. Maybe even try and last these engages, those brutal 4v1 engages, right, that we saw from game 1 for Team Vitality, going down to the farm lane, just picking off Kinesis very early, which I suppose when you're playing an early or playing the Lung, that's where you kind of get the early game advantage and make sure you're claiming that late game advantage as well, right, is making sure that your late game heroes on the side of Major Pride aren't going to shine.
Yep, and Highland already showing a little bit more flash at this point, you know, flexing on his opponents. I'm joking. So Vitality, I like the draft so far, right? They have good peel, they can play from a distance, and at this point, Mai Yin is able to close that door on them as well. So final picks going to be the Morts coming in onto Winter, and I have to say so far, Winter on her game, I like this, and Vitality, the much better team so far.
Hey, speaking of Winter, right, I just copped it. I mean, she's playing this well with nails. Is it going to be like one of those, like, final form things when, like, things get hard, she just takes them off, and then that's it? It's kind of like, hey, there's nothing weighing me down now. There's no space between my fingers and the screens. We are ready to brawl. But we'll have to wait and see if we ever get to that point with Vitality Winter.
I'm playing with a handicap. Can you deal with me?
Yeah, literally, yeah. How are you coping right now, lads? I'm playing with literal acrylics on my fingers.
Well, we'll see, right? Major Pride, one of the things I think they pride themselves with is the ability to come back into games and to learn quickly against their opponents. So we'll see. At this point, I don't think it's a good idea to eat those Scepters of Fate coming in from Highland.
No, definitely not. Unless you're trading a few bubbles here and there, which aren't as tasty and deadly as those scepters. You don't want to be sort of taking those shots when you need to. Just like here, Kashi Pitard just taking these shots to the face.
Yep, and it's not a good sign for the side of Major Pride, right? Once again, we get that very significant Vitality pressure coming in from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, at least Kinesis hasn't taken as much damage as he were in that game 1, right? Like, it was only 2 minutes in. We pretty much blinked. He had half health, and then at that point, there was a 4-1 invade into the bot lane. Frozen is City Boy. A little bit of an engage here from Olimsky as well. Dream Roll does come through, saving Monkey right now.
Okay, so he does commit the smite. This is really important. They need to find out where they can even out the farm, even out the experience as well. So I think, you know, Major Pride learning their lessons already, but there's still more to be done, right? Right now, another engage, another invade coming in from Vitality. Major Pride have not found an answer for that just yet.
Yes, major improvements to be had, but right now, kind of with Team Vitality, they have a already tried and tested team comp, right? They have the wave clear of the Orgren, they have the harassment of the Mai Yin, be able to get into the backline, which we know 90 can do on heroes like Dharma. He's going to be able to finesse it on heroes like the Mai Yin. But it's all about how Major Pride try and counter-engage the side of Team Vitality, because if you let them take control, they're going to just take miles and miles from you. Not just inches, they'll take lives, they'll take gold, they'll take XP, everything.
Yep, and at this point, Limsky may be getting caught out. He's caught in a bad position here. We'll be able to just scurry out of the moment, right? And you know what? It's looking good because he's able to tank quite a bit of damage so far.
Yeah, for now he's able to get out of there, but for how long is that going to be a susceptible advantage or disadvantage or even play for the side of Major Pride? But for right now, they seem to be doing a little bit more better, right? Like a lot more respect going on right now. There's no sort of like huge engages. We may be getting that now into the bot lane where we see City Boy just waiting for the go ahead by Shanks and Winter. Here we go. The Path of Passing does come through. Not be able to get there in time. Cannon Blast hits onto Olimsky. Kinesis once again very low.
Yep, and you can see, right, the really small things that Vitality have done across the first 3 minutes of the game have now put themselves in a slightly better position, not just in terms of experience, but in gold as well. Take a look at the growth of items and gold on the farm lane.
Yes, just take a look at the farm lane right now that we're seeing the Alung, right? 2.1k difference for Shanks right now, and then obviously City Boy is edging very closely to that kind of equalizing state, right? Like there is no need to sort of worry at this point. I think the time to worry is when these neutral objectives kind of get out of hand.
Yeah. Simply because at this point, you know, if you take a look at Shanks, yes, the gold is pretty even, but the itemization is different worlds apart, because now Shanks has that meteor, he does have the armor pierce as well, and right now I think they want to play a faster game, so Kinesis is rushing for that Doomsday, but it's not enough damage yet.
Nope, not enough damage just yet, but hey, this is kind of like, they don't have the early game team comp, right, for the side of Team Vitality. They have the Hino, which is great. It can do a lot of damage. We have the Orgrin that can soak quite a bit of damage, but also deal a little bit of damage in the early game, but it's all about waiting for that lung to activate. So whether they're just literally going for this draft so they can try and get to the late game or even get into the mid game, just have a little bit more fun with Major Pride is yet to be seen. The Faith Rewind does come through. Oh, what a nice placement from Highland there. It does get met by Lady Chen's ability, just stunning him in place, letting them know that, hey, I'm still here. I'm still a member on the side of Major Pride. I am not to be overlooked.
Okay, so let's make a couple of things clear. You know, Major Pride, I think they have matched up the pacing that has been given, laid down by the side of Vitality. That's a good sign for them, right? But they need to do a little bit more. I haven't seen a lot of invades coming in, so Major Pride will do well for themselves to try and find some openings.
Yes, openings indeed, right? We see the Mai's back flipping off. Okay,
opening.
so first blood does go over to Kinesis this time. So again, Major Pride having a bit of a major improvement here going into game 2, able to take the first blood. Kashipatia looking close by, maybe trying to cut off Hino. He knows that the flank is going to come through anytime now. There we go. The domain comes through, the leaping saber just to get over the wall to keep Kashi alive.
Oh, the jukes and the side steps coming up from Kashipatia. Very big plays. And on the top lane as well, Major Pride doing well for themselves. They're pushing down and they get the kill onto 90. What a surprise, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, 2 kills up. It's not quite the double kill that Highland got in the first game, right? But it is Major Pride leading this game 1 so far. The gold lead has now got over to the favor of Major Pride as well. So they're clearly playing a draft that is a lot more comfortable for the team, the Eastern European team.
Okay, so they're holding their own, but at this point, Vitality, they do have some win conditions that once achieved is going to swing the game back in their favor really heavily, and that's going to come in the form of Highland because the peels are coming in. Master of Agony in his hands.
Yes, so far so good for the side of Major Pride, but that could get overturned any time, right, with Team Vitality. We don't know. They are a very good team at making the enemies think that they're ahead, and then all of a sudden they have a really great team fight. They're able to get back into the thick of it and then take the lead for themselves. But the T1 down into the farm lane and into the clash lane is spelling trouble here for Major Pride. Spelling trouble is the Death on Sunset trying to get out of there. Shuzuki is able to get out of Mayin's grasp as well as the Cannon Blast as well.
Yeah, but he burns out the death at sunset, and this is going to be a big problem for the side of Major Pride because right now Vitality, they essentially have all of their ultimates, important ultimates, and they are looking for a fight.
Yes, right now they are looking for a fight, and they are looking to try and take this neutral objective, maybe even bait it, right? Bring in Team Vitality so we can then have a bigger team fight here. But no, it looks like they are going to take the neutral objective once more for the side of Team Vitality, meaning that they've got both of the early game jungle objectives. So again, even though Team Vitality are down in terms of the gold ever so slightly and the turrets ever so slightly, it means that they are trying to get advantages in other vectors.
Yep, you can definitely see the conditioning that Vitality has placed onto Major Pride, right? They don't want to take unnecessary fights at this point, which is a good decision by Major Pride, but at the same time, it's also hindering their growth because they need to find openings or they will consistently be behind in the game all the time.
Yeah, they just definitely want to keep playing on that front foot, right? They don't want to let the pressure get off, which is what we saw from Major Pride before. Historically, once they put the pressure on, they don't take the pressure off. They don't get overconfident. They just make sure they maintain whatever aggression they need to do to take the games in their favor. Monkey getting the Overlord, the Tyrant there as well. So neutral objective does go over to the side of Major Pride, meaning that they're able to have that extra little bit of damage, that chain lightning effect as well when it comes into these team fights. Being able to get to that back line as well and do the damage. He's doing a lot of damage onto... Oh, City Boy goes down. Shizuki is trying to get 90 get caught out there. The Cannon Blast does save 90 as well. That is a bit of a clutch save there. Cannon Blast coming through, trying to put them in a bit of a pit stop. But you can kind of see that the Vanguard's able to turn around that clash lane right now. Shizuki tries to go and nurse it and manage to get there in time.
That's a big save, man. That's a lot of gold that they have stopped from going into the pockets of Vitality. And at this point, with the gold lead so close, I think Major Pride are doing well for themselves to make sure that it keeps being in this way.
Yes, so they've just got to basically just maintain everything that they're doing right now. They just can't sort of let anything slip. They can't give Vitality an inch, because like you said earlier, Kin, they will take a mile.
Yep, and at this point, you know, you can start to see how they're dealing with the growth of Highland, and it's really impressive, right? In the space of, what, a 5-minute break, they have now figured out how to play against a Highland Hano.
Yeah, so far so good, right? They are definitely looking for a healthier Game 2 for the side of Major Pride. The 6-minute mark has been and gone. They can put that to bed, right? They know that they've got past the Game 1 boss. Stage 1 boss was at 6-minute mark. They're now going into the 10-minute mark, which is the mid-game, which is where the pressure starts to be put on, right? Especially around these shadow neutral objectives. It looks like Major Pride are going for more damage instead of that Shadow Overlord so they can get the Vanguards, but they're in the position, right, to do that. They don't have any turrets taken down right now. For the side of Team Vitality, they need that Shadow Overlord. They take it as well. It is Highland getting the last hit on it as well. Shizuki is trying to get it alive. The Cannon Blast from Winter does not hit, but the T1 in the mid lane does fall once more for the side of Team Vitality. No T1s left. This is a good opening for Major Pride. Don't get ahead of yourself, lads. Just keep your heads straight and narrow, right?
Yep, they're simmering, right? At this point, Major Pride, I like this growth, and all they have to do is to make sure that this T1 in the mid doesn't fall, and they're ready for a fight because they have the Tyrant's buff as well.
Yes, Tyrant buff as well, just trying to keep this defense onto the T1 in the mid lane, because if they let that open up, then it kind of just lets the other sides open up, because T1's into the farm and clash looking pretty low already, so there's not a lot of TLC needed for the side of Team Vitality to get those turrets down. The Vanguards can do it themselves, as you can see there. Clash lane goes. We see that Shizuki's trying to nurse that farm lane turret as well. Highland looking to keep this ground zero for himself, gets knocked up from the Lady Chen.
Yeah, now we have a couple of potential outplays. We do have the Splendor in the hands of Red Cutie. Let's see if he's going to make full use of that item against the likes of Highland.
Yes, let's see if he does make that use. They only have 13 seconds left on the Shadow Tyrant as well, so they got to really make use of this extra damage. T2 may be in trouble here. The Faith Rewind does come through for Highland. The Death on Sunset for Shizuki, trying to keep him out of there. Path of Passing does come through, but they're able to take the T2 for the side of Team Vitality. But 90 is looking for the macro play, looking to pay back the dividends there in the Clash lane. He's able to get the T2, leaving it a little bit unnoticed is Major Pride.
Yep, and this is what's scary about Vitality, right? Oh my goodness, that could be a kill.
Yep, there it is. Shanks getting the kill onto Olimsky. He goes down, and they're just waiting for those minions in the mid lane just so they can try and open up a little bit more of Major Pride's jungle for the side of Team Vitality. But right now, you're kind of seeing that the gold lead is kind of flittering between both of these teams still. Not a lot going on, but there is plenty to be had if mistakes are made.
Yep, so one small decision led to the T2 on the top being taken down. And once again, take a look at the split push. This is all by 90's efforts. And all they're doing on the side of Vitality is really just capturing the attention of potential pushes in the waves, right? And I feel like Major Pride, they're playing a little bit too reactively. They need to set the pace.
Yeah, set the pace for now. You see that Shizuski's trying to just give a little bit of love to the macro, right? We're seeing for 90. 90 playing a little bit less aggressive on the Mayim because he's used as a different kind of utility, right? Just been pushing those lanes, making sure the pressure is to be had there in the side lanes. The Sun Chaser comes through for Kinesis. He means trouble when he gets that range. And speaking of trouble is Highland. He goes down. The Dream Roll, not even needed right there. Only just as a backup measure for Highland to think he could escape. Then Olimsky would have been, hey, we are going down.
Yep, that was a big play though, actually, by 90. So that split push now kind of closed the door on the aggression from the side of Major Pride because they had to go back and defend the waves. Now, at this point, it didn't allow the floodgates to be open, so Vitality have another saving grace, another chance. This time, maybe they can position a little better to try and get the perfect team fight. As of now, the reach of Major Pride is great with the side of Red Cutie as well as Kinesis.
Yeah, you can kind of see 90 here has been sitting in that brush for a very long time. They know they're going to go for the Shadow Tyrant right now, and you can see Cannon Blast come through, trying to get the steal. There's 90 into the thick of it. They don't get the crucial kill back, but we are seeing Kinesis going down. Olimsky takes down Shanks, so that is ADC for ADC. 90 on the run, trying to get the kill onto Olimsky. The shield comes through. It's the leaping savior from Kashi Batir, but it's also Shizuski going into the back line of Team Vitality that's doing work right now.
Okay.
Shut down.
Yep, the Fate 3-1 comes through, stops it there. Shizuski is met his Mako when that 2v1 comes through.
Yep, it's an overcommitment from the side of Major Pride, right? And it looks like they might get punished. At this point, 90 is just trying to deter them from any additional aggression because they need to set the map cleanly for their side. So the waves are in favor of Major Pride, which is why they're considering taking up this Shadow Overlord at this point. But I believe Vitality should know what's going on. Let's see how they play this out.
Yeah, with the jungle debuff though, Olimsky on his own as Monkey is not going to get that Shadow Overlord on his own, right? So he needs his team there. He needs his boys to back him up. But right now you can kind of see that City Boy is still trying to commit forward. Maybe a bit of a bait here to lure Major Pride in. 19 to the back there, takes in Kachi Batir. So there goes one of the big front lines of the side of Major Pride. Boom! Goes down another as well. Red QT gets caught out by a Cannon Blast. So they're already down 2 members and 2 fatal members on the side of Major Pride. Shizuski, Redsky, and the Kinesis are just looking for some sort of formulated reset right now, just as Team Vitality take a great sweep in their favor.
Yeah, and you know what? It's actually quite painful for the side of Major Pride, right? Take a look at the itemization. We are close to a full 6 slotted Shanks here, and that's not a sight that you want to see if you're a fan of Major Pride. At this point, the item growth is pretty strong. I like the fact that the Splendor is still available for the usage on the side of Red Cutie, has the Venomous Staff for the anti-heals as well. But at this point, when it's all 5 up on the side of Major Pride and all 5 up on the side of Vitality, you can definitely expect that Vitality gonna have the edge.
Red team.
Yeah, I mean, just look at those just shots coming from Shanks there, right? Just so much damage going on to these T2s. And this is the beauty of a 6-slotted Shanks. No, just not even just a Shanks in particular, a 6-slotted Lung, right? He is going to have huge damage. He's going to be able to take down any turret, take down any tank on the side of Team Major Pride. And down goes a T1. So again, they are slowly but surely opening up Major Pride for a little bit of a defeat here in the mid lane. You can see that City Boy is waiting in the way by there, just waiting for that path of passing when he needs to get through. T2 down into the mid lane as well. Looking very troublesome here for Major Pride.
Yep, the path for passing is kind of like a boundary drawn, right, against the side of Major Pride. And right now, Vitality saying that you do not own this space, we are going to occupy it, and the territory is ours at this point. Shadow Overlord marching down on the top.
Yes, onto the clash lane here. So Highland into the thick of it. He does have the Fate Rewind, able to get out of there as well. But there we go. Shanks taken down. Kinesis once more. The Infinite Vastness comes through to save Shanks and get out of there. But right now, Major Pride already down 1 member. Can they get another trade here before they lose their Crystal? T3 into the clash lane goes down for Major Pride. Olimsky does have the Sage's Sanctuary. He has that double life right now. The Dream Roll could come through for a Dream save for the side of Major Pride, but it's not looking like it. Team Vitality looking like they've got Major Pride shut at this game 2 in match 2. Minions are at the crystals. Shizuki trying his best to nurse that crystal to good health, but 90 putting a lot of pressure. The dream roll comes through. Sage's Sanctuary now being procced on the side of Major Pride. Soon goes down after that. Sage's Sanctuary comes through. We see the Highland is able to take down Alimsky, but then Shizuki goes down as well. Plenty of trades right now. 3 to 3 trades when the minions are at the crystal. They just gotta do the pressure. Shanks getting taken down, but the Sage's Sanctuary saving the side of Team Vitality. Can they get these minions through? Not quite yet. Major Pride been given a lifeline.
Game-saving smite there from the side of Kashibatir. That's going to extend the life for a little bit, but at this point, they're struggling to keep up. Major Pride, at this point, 55,000 in the bank. It might look like they're pretty close in gold, but in terms of damage output, nobody's in comparison to Shanks.
Yeah, nobody at all. It's pretty much like a country mile, right? The gold lead is definitely going into the favor of Team Vitality after that fantastic aggressive play onto the side of Major Pride. They've got all the high ground turrets gone now. The crystal is looking mightily low. There's somebody needs to send help, right?
Oh yes, for sure. And at this point, it is where the little decisions matter a lot, right? So Highland definitely going to use the Scepter of Fates to scout things out. And every Cannon Blast that Winter lands is going to be of big importance, because once you get the stuns on the important peoples on the side of Major Pride, that could set up the kill. And, you know, even though Kashibatir is pretty tanky, you don't want him to expend that Unbridled Outburst prematurely.
Yeah, no, we had a lot of that in the past few days, that the premature unbridled outrage comes through, and like there, we're just only catching out Winter, so not really offering much for the side of Major Pride. But Major Pride doing a lot better in this game too, right? They convert that 6-minute game into an almost Tempest Dragon duration, right? It's almost that 20-minute mark. They're able to get and survive a lot longer with this draft, giving me a lot more hope for Major Pride, either in the next game or day 2. But right now, Team Vitality looking for a final assault onto the base. Faith Rewind comes through for Highland as well. We do see that 90's into the thick of it, wiping out a lot of those Sage's Sanctuary as well. Highland dealing a lot of damage. That's a 1-1 trade between 90 and Red QT, but there's a lot of damage still on the side of Major Pride. Thanks to Kinesis is able to push away Vitality once more. I feel like we're going to see that Tempest Dragon come through, and if Major Pride are able to take it up, I think we could see a little bit of a comeback. It's going to be hard for them, but we could see a comeback.
Yep, protective shield here. Is this a mistake though?
Yes, a little bit overzealous there in the commitment with the dream roll. He's able to get away with his life, which a lot of players can't really say when they're going up against Shanks.
The flank by 90 is not going to be apparent. Kashibatir, he's trying to bait out a couple of skills, right? Oh my god, that Flaming Palm is so huge coming in from the side of Shanks. At this point, Kinesis, he needs to do a very good job of scouting without dying for the side of Major Pride.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much an impossible task, right? Because he has so much CC on the side of Vitality. The scouting is going to be harder to get from because of the path of passing, just like Alimsky's knowing here as well. He's able to dream roll out of it alive.
Oh,
okay, the infinite vastness comes through, saving Shanks for now. But we see that City Boy is looking pretty low. He's able to activate the shield, though, keeping himself just alive there. Death on Sunset does come through. Shizuki getting the kill out of City Boy right now. But they're going to be careful of 90. 90 is looking to march those minions into the mid lane, but Alimsky is waiting for it. He is at the door when 90 knocks.
Right, they are on the cusp of victory here on the side of Major Pride, right? There was a huge team fight. If they can do this again, I think Vitality might be in for a shocker of a game. At this point, very good control, right? Red QT, that destructive deluge, critical and, you know, very potent in catching out City Boy, allowing for the kills, and most importantly, Kinesis, he is 6 slotted. Here comes it. The potential steal.
Oh, Highland with the scepters, not gonna get it. Oh, Tempest Dragon goes over to Major Pride. That could be a big upset here for Team Vitality. This is exactly the same spot they got to going against Virtus Pro. So again, there is a few little niggly mistakes that Team Vitality are making and aren't able to just finish off these late games. That's why we kind of see that huge aggression in game 1, right? 6 minutes or nothing. And right now, it's showing a bit of a testament to that.
Yeah, you can definitely feel the nerves coming in from the side of Vitality, right? They're struggling to keep up, and at this point with the Tempest buff, I don't think it's going to be a good situation for Vitality to, you know, just lightly take a fight at this point.
Yeah, no, especially with these Vanguards rocking down each of these lanes, right? They're able to disrupt the turrets as well, so stop those big turret blasts coming through. There we go. Kinesis takes the T2 into the mid lane. So this is now going to open up to a final bastion at the higher ground turrets. This is the final frontier for Team Vitality. Major Pride have been on the receiving end. They know what it takes to get through that impenetrable wall, and it's going to be helped and aided by the Vanguards.
Yep, Kinesis now has the Sage's Sanctuary, and this is going to be a big marker, right? At this point, Vitality, you know what they're doing. They're just trying to stall time. They want to ride out all 3 waves on that Tempest Dragon. So at this point, Vitality will do well for themselves to not give up too much room. They can give away the outer turrets, no problem. But as long as they can't get any T3s, it's a big win for the side of Vitality.
Yeah, that's their major objective, right? The Major Pride are trying to get the high objectives, the higher turrets, sorry, and then we see that Team Vitality, Shanks doing a lot of those flaming bombs, doing so much damage onto Cassiopeia. We see that 90's coming to the backline as well. Oh, it's a double kill. Oh no, the Sage Sanctuary coming through for Kinesis as well, so that's going to be a lifesaver. City Boy does go down as well. That is a 3-1 trade, though, for Team Vitality right now. Even though they're playing on a bit of the back foot, they need to defend from those Vanguards. They're able to still apply the pressure.
Yep, and the pain is going to start happening for the side of Major Pride, right? Vitality still alive. Shanks does have the Sage's Sanctuary in the inventory, so this is a really hard fight. Right now, Red Cutie, he does have good wave clear, but they don't have enough damage. So Cassiopeia, they have to make a miracle happen at this point.
Yeah, a miracle and a dream. That is what Major Pride have right now. Other than Pride, other than Major Pride, they have a miracle and a dream. They take the Cannon Blast onto Red QT. I think this is going to be it. They're riding out that minion wave into the Crystal. It is going to be Team Vitality taking a not so convincing 2-0, especially after that 6-minute match in Game 1. Major Pride putting up a major fight.
Yep, a hard-fought battle for the win on the side of Vitality. You can see